This is gonna be a first. I've only gonna review one movie. A few days ago, I saw 28 Years Later, and genuinely, this is my movie of the year, and is possibly the best time I've had in a cinema since I saw The Substance in theaters. So in this video, I'm just gonna talk in a loose sort of way about how I felt about this movie, and that's how I felt about this movie that's getting some mixed reactions. Some love it, some hate it. A few of my friends have seen it, and their opinions range from this is peak cinema to it's okay. I'm on the peak cinema train, obviously. 28 Years Later is the sequel to the highly influential Danny Boyle film 28 Days Later. Alex Garland, who is now more known for his films like Ex Machina, Civil War, wrote that original script that completely turned the zombie genre as we know it on its head. It practically introduced the whole world to the idea of a running zombie, which now, looking back, is crazy to think about. It took, 40 years or something to make the idea of a running zombie canon. The thing about this world is, though, these aren't zombies, despite being a zombie post-apocalyptic style movie. These are just people infected with a disease, the rage virus. The distinction is important as it becomes a major theme by the end of 28 Years Later. The film begins in a house with children watching Teletubbies, and you hear the unease of the world outside. The children are getting tense. There's a boy named Jimmy who gets up to see what's happening outside, and then all hell breaks loose. The infected break into the room, and the cuts get frantic. There's blood everywhere, and we know this film isn't fucking around. Everyone is fodder. The rage virus is just as deadly as we remember. That boy I mentioned earlier goes and finds his dad, who's a pastor. He gives his son a cross necklace and he embraces the virus. He sees this as the start of, I'm guessing, the rapture, maybe? This is the end of days. This is the first mention that we're going to get of religion as well in the movie, as well as the embrace of death, which will become relevant later on. Now we're on an island, separated from mainland England, only accessible by a causeway that only shows at low tide 28 years later. And this is where Alex Garland starts to shine. We meet Aaron Taylor-Johnson as Jamie and his son Spike. We have a dad who is raised, I'm assuming predominantly in this island community, who is excited to take his son on a trip to mainland England. The island seems to be a sanctuary, but the more we see, the more I'm questioning the roles everyone has. We see that the island is very traditional, with men and women having defined roles. The men are hunters, protectors. The women, they set tables, they make food. I think it's an interesting premise Alex has here. Once the virus hits England, this community had a chance to radically redefine what it means to live in society. We could have had a more progressive society, but through the first half an hour, 40 minutes or so, we see this island has been annexed from the world, as there's a no exception quarantine on England. This island has chosen to not build something new, but to regress. There's a real rah-rah spirit that would have dominated a past version of England, and as the virus evolves and progresses on the mainland, I guess it's just interesting to see the contrast with the regression on the island. Danny Boyle shows this as well. We're always cutting to old English crest. English flags are everywhere. Footage of old English soldiers, even medieval soldiers, which is really pushing the idea of regression, going back to the Middle Ages. The idea of defending themselves from an invasion, but if you know anything about the British Empire, they didn't really defend their homeland. They went into foreign nations and killed the native people, which could track with the scene we see of Spike and Jamie getting a hero's goodbye as they go to the mainland, which could be seen as a foreign land going to kill the native population of rage-infected people who are evolving and not a danger to the people on the island unless they go over there to interact with them. I mean, what is the purpose of the first mission we see Jamie and Spike go on? They go to kill, not to forage or take, but just to kill, which Jamie says is fine. He tells his son, these people have no souls. Don't feel bad about taking a life. They aren't like us. It's okay to kill. I'm unsure if this is intentional, that this could be seen as what the British Royal Army did in the hundreds of years they were on top. But I guess I thought it was an interesting connection. When Jamie and Spike are on the island, Spike gets his kills, and we see the evolution of the virus, how they now hunt in packs, they can track. We even get infected that forage the ground for worms, and it makes for some great moments. As they get followed by the infected, they hide away. We see how nature is taking care of the local deer population and they can thrive despite being hunted by infected. I'm just going to take some time to talk about the editing in the film. It's so goddamn frenetic. We are constantly going back and forth to things that are almost like context clues, I guess. We have the use of old movie footage of British soldiers. Then there's this badass nighttime footage of infected hunting deer, showing us how they gather their meat, how they hunt in packs. We also get this crazy bullet time-esque effect on every kill of the infected. It brings a lot of power to each kill and lets you revel in the moment and maybe think about every kill you're seeing. The impact of every death, I guess. Danny Boyle and editor John Harris went crazy, man. I didn't think it was going to be as innovative as the first in terms of progressing the cinematic language of the franchise. And the first film was shown like a 480p digital potato, whatever. It brought a grungy punk rock sort of feeling to it. It helped achieve a sort of renegade spirit, I guess, as well as helping the crew shoot fast at the time. And going into this, I thought, is this going to be a more story-orientated film? Are they going to try and push the envelope here? Danny Boyle is no slouch. He doesn't make gold every time he puts out a film, but he's always trying new things, making his own path, and this movie gets fucking weird, man. I don't know how else to describe it. We get this fast-paced energy and also these highly transcendental scenes, like when Jamie and Spike are running back from their trip to the mainland. We have this beautiful shot of the two getting chased by an infected alpha, as they're called in the film, and this humongous wide shot. We see the sky and this massive aurora borealis, and the music is just swelling. Normally, if this, I guess, were a more conventional film, we'd get a lot of quick cuts. The music would get louder and intense, but instead we get this beautiful swelling score, and despite it being a scene of danger, we get the scene of beauty. It's just such an out there choice to me that just made me realize we aren't seeing a typical sequel here, and yes, Danny Boyle is going to push the envelope. That transcendental stuff comes back later, but I'll get to that. After the boys come back from the island, Jamie and Spike get thrown a party, which I forgot to mention before. Spike is 12 in the movie. His dad wants him to go to the mainland to get kills, something he holds as a point of pride. Just crazy that you'd want to put your own son in danger like that, but after seeing this party scene, it makes a lot more sense. Jamie cheats on his wife, who was introduced at the start of the film. She has an incurable disease that we'll get back to. He also likes to get on the rack. He cheats on his wife at the party. His son sees it. This is another point I want to make. Although Jamie seems like a good enough dad at first, he has his moments. He's incredibly proud of his son, or at least projects it to the community. He seems to want to get his son independent. He wants his wife to die, maybe, and he can't wait to have no responsibilities, or at least it could be interpreted that way. There are a lot of layers to these characters, and I'm incredibly appreciative of that. My God, we get so many character moments to sink our teeth into as Spike confronts his dad, and the shattering of this hero image of his father happens, and he even threatens his dad with a knife. This also coincided with another serious plot development as Spike learns of a doctor who lives on the mainland. We learned that 15 years ago. Jamie and a couple of other people are foraging and see the doctor burning corpses in a huge fire that still burns, as earlier in the film Spike sees that fire, setting up for the latter half of the film, which is Spike taking his mother to the mainland, starting a fire to draw the attention of the gatekeepers of the island. He goes with his mother, who has memories that come and go, almost dementia-like conditions that get worse as the film progresses. And this is when the tension rises as Spike and his mother, played by Jamie Comer, in a great performance. Spike and his mother, Isla, go deeper into the mainland to find the doctor and get into hairy situations traversing the land.
No fucking way.
Sorry, Pete Alonso just hit a home run. This is when we also see a group of soldiers that we later find out got stranded on land and have to get to safety, but they don't get very safe as they're all taken out bar one, Eric. Spike and Isla get to a gas station to hide, get rescued by the lone survivor, Eric. And that's where we get another great piece of world building as we find the world has moved on. England is a quarantine zone. The rest of the world has kept going. Eric talks to Spike and realizes that nothing he says makes sense. He even shows Spike a photo of his GF on an iPhone, which got a big laugh as Spike doesn't know what lip fillers are. We keep following the trio as they make their way to a train, and then I guess maybe a controversial moment for some people happens. An infected gives birth, and Isla helps deliver the baby, and we are left with a lot of questions. Mainly, the baby is not infected. How the fuck does that work? Another moment that shows the difference in the treatment of infected is on display as Eric wants to shoot the baby straight away, but we don't even know if he would have got in his way because the gang gets chased by an alpha in a really tense sequence. Eric gets his head ripped off, and then Kino arrives as Spike and Isla are saved by the doctor they went looking for, played by Ralph Fiennes. The Alpha, by the way, chases this new and old trio in this portion of the movie. My best guess is the Alpha is the father of the baby. This now presents a whole new set of questions and implications for this world, which I'm hoping will get answered as the trilogy goes on. Now we get to a part of the film I didn't see coming as the doctor takes Spike and Isla to his, I guess you could say, home, but is what the doctor calls memento mori, remember death. And this is the main theme of the whole movie, apart from maybe the exploration of family, but the examination of death and what it means to certain people. The island sees the infected as people with souls that need to be killed and exterminated, and it makes you think, even if they kill everyone on the mainland, no savior is coming for them. It's a no-go quarantine on England. So even if they were to magically kill everyone with the virus, they will still be stuck, disconnected from the world. There's no doctors, there's no one to progress society, bring electricity, so it makes you wonder what the point of it all is, whereas the doctor sees the infected people as people with a virus, a disease, which is the main difference between 28 years later and another zombie-style movie. The doctor builds this memento mori of bones of infected and non-infected, as he says to Spike, there's no difference. The doctor covers himself in iodine as he finds the virus doesn't like it. He's lived among the infected for 28 years, waiting for someone to make contact with him, but obviously he has been deemed insane by those on the island, the isolationists. Just more of this contrast and thinking by someone who stayed on the mainland and progressed. Even if society didn't progress, his thinking did, whereas the people on the island regressed and can only think of the infected in black and white. They can't live, they must die. We get a moment later on where the doctor and Spike are chased by the Alpha and the doctor just sedates him. And I saw some comments online from people saying, oh, why didn't he kill the Alpha? Is he dumb? But I guess that just shows some people's thinking in our world. Do you savor every life despite how different you might be from them, despite how violent they are? Do you give these infected people the chance to continue their lives? Or do you just kill them? It's a pretty great premise indeed. We also see the process of the doctor burning Eric's head and letting Spike put him in the memento mori. Then we get the climax of the film, which is not an action-packed set-piece style of climax. It's an emotional climax with the doctor inspecting Isla and determining that she has cancer, a disease that could be cured and made painless maybe if she weren't isolated from the world, but unfortunately this is the world she finds herself in. It's just another thing to add here. Speaking of isolation, Isla isn't part of the community of the island. She spends her time in bed, mainly spending her time with Spike and an older character who looks after her. I can't remember the relation between them. She doesn't, I guess, get the chance to, you could say, be indoctrinated to the island's way of thinking, and it gives Spike a connection to a way of thinking that doesn't dominate the island, which is just another great thing about this film that left me floored. There's so much going on here, and it's all connected to Spike. We're seeing the influence of a grey area on Spike. Ways of thinking shown to us by multiple different people in his life that influence his decisions at the end of the movie. And that climax comes when Spike is drugged and the Doctor and Isla walk away. A fire burns as Spike is put in charge of the baby. Isla's put to rest by the Doctor and then burned as well. And we get this great visual of the camera just floating into the air, and the music swells and these massive embers are floating all around the screen. It's just another great transcendental moment that's just so beautiful. The movie continues after that. Spike puts his mother's skull at the top of the Memento Mori. He gives the baby to the village while also telling his dad that he's going to stay on the island. He tells his dad he's going to stay on the mainland. I wish my memory was better to know the exact words he used, but Spike's left the nest and Jamie's angry. He goes and rushes into the water on top of the causeway to go to the mainland, but he can't. And then 28 days later, Spike's in trouble. Infected are after him, and he gets help from Jimmy from the start of the film, and that same cross he got given is now upside down. And we get this gnarly kill scene, and they offer Spike a chance to join them. And Jimmy's been referenced throughout the film. We see his name pop up sporadically, and the moment lived up to the hype and leaves you wanting so much more. I thought we'd get another hour of the film, and I would have been so okay with that. But all good things must come to an end, and this thing is good. It's so great. Honestly, I don't know how this video is going to turn out. It's probably just really rambly, might not make a whole lot of sense, but I just wanted to put my thoughts down somewhere as I was floored by this movie. I didn't talk about everything. I saw this a while ago, and I might try to catch it again at some point, but this movie is such a great start, and I really hope this new one, The Bone Temple, lives up to what they've set up here, because if it's anything like this, then we're in for a fucking all-timer of a trilogy. And that's, I guess, it. Thank you for listening to my rambling. Thank you.